brothers rock Jesus pieces, but they really don't know Jesus. Just know that he's the seed, and please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We'll never be defeated. Evil legions, all of these demons. I know you see them screaming, please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We got the keys for the brothers rock Jesus pieces, but they really don't know Jesus. Just know that he's the seed, and please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We'll never be defeated. Evil legions, all of these demons. I know you see them screaming, please believe it. We got the keys to the kingdom. We got the keys to the keys to the.
On, family, most high in Christ bless. Hey, brother, come here, let me talk to you for a second. Come here, yeah, you. Because I saw you over across the street, you was listening, you've been listening all day. How y'all doing today? Good. So I'm going to ask you something. I can hear your accent. You from the tribe of Benjamin? You're from Jamaica. So look at the sign. This shows you who you are according to the Bible. Because where did the word Jamaica come from? The word Jamaica, where did that come from?
Man, to be honest, I don't even know.
A lot of stuff we don't know. We call ourselves black, that's a color. You call yourselves Jamaican, that means wood and water. That's where that word comes from. So you will not find the word Jamaican in the Bible at all, right?
You will find wood and water.
Look, you will definitely find wood and water in the Bible.
That's what they say. They say Jamaica, the land of wood and
water. That's what it means. So look, I'm going to ask you something. What do you believe in? What God do you subscribe to? How do you govern your lives? You believe in the Bible?
Yeah, I read the Bible a lot. And then, you know what I mean? I just read because, honestly, it's a very controversial.
It's a controversial what?
Really, it's a significant because something, you read about something.
Okay.
And then another time, they determine a different.
So you're saying that there are some controversial items in here, some things that may contradict themselves. Let me ask you one. Give me one thing in this Bible that you're confused about or that contradicts itself. Just give me one.
Well, so far, some people say that Jesus was a white man and all that thing.
Oh, that's one of our favorites. So the brother said, for everybody listening, what's your name, bro? Don't go nowhere. John. My brother John said one of the controversial things in the Bible is that they show us a picture of a white Jesus, but that's not what the Bible says. If I ask most of you walking up and down the street and showed you this sign, hey sis.
But look, one more thing again.
This is who you're talking about right here, right?
Yeah, one more thing.
Gabe, ask the sisters real quick. Hold up, let me ask these sisters behind you. Who is this on here? Jesus. Who told you that?
That's what we learned.
That's what we grew up with, right? You believe in the Bible? Okay, this is what we're going to do. What color is Tupac? If I show you a white Tupac, you'll tell me I'm crazy, right?
Bring it out.
Right?
Bring it out.
I'm going to show you that the Bible says Jesus the Christ is a black man.
That's right.
So from now on, when you see a white Jesus, I need you to let the people know you crazy for believing that.
That's right.
All right? We're going straight to the Bible. This is the King James Bible, all right?
I'm going to show you something.
All right, y'all, hold on. We're going to read this. Don't go nowhere.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So, the root word of revelation is revealed. If I'm getting ready to reveal something to you, that means it's hidden, right? Right? Come on, Gabe, let me work. If I'm getting ready to reveal something to you, that means it's hidden, right? So, if I'm going to show you something, that means right now they're not showing it to you. Let's see what the Bible says.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
He said he's going to show to his servants because they haven't shown us. Right? Watch this.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John,
All right, so this is what he wrote to John. Now, let's go to verse 13. Watch this, sis.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks. This is the vision that John saw. So you see here, we have 7 candlesticks, right? Watch this.
One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So when he saw the revelation of Christ, he had on a garment, right? So Jesus wore clothes. Most people say, nah, Jesus was a spirit. He didn't have a color. Right. We reading out the Bible. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about Jesus. All right?
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So the girdle, that's his belt. So he had on a golden belt, right? Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it says his head and his hairs were white like wool. Now, when it says his head, it's talking about the hair on the top of his head. When it says hairs, it's talking about the hair that was on his face. All right? And it said it was what?
White like wool.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Who has woolly hair on the earth today? What group of people have woolly hair? African Americans, right? They would, and some people call us blacks, right? That's woolly hair. Watch this.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So it said Jesus the Christ had woolly hair. Then it said it was white. Most people, when they turn older, what color does their hair turn? It turns white, right? Or if you stressed out, what happens? You start getting, they say, gray hair. You're stressing me out. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So it says his eyes were like a flame of fire. So when it says his eyes were red, get the precept. It says his eyes were red. So do we think Jesus had lasers shooting out of his eyes? No. It's going to tell you the whites of his eyes were red. We'll see why.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
So it says Jesus Christ's eyes were red because of the wine that he drank. So he wasn't an alcoholic. You wasn't going to find him stumbling, but he drank wine. So that made his eyes red. Watch this.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Are your feet and your arms the same color? Yeah, they are. Most people are. Feet, arms, same color, right? It's describing Jesus Christ's feet. Let's see what color it is. Read it again.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So we're reading out of the Holy Bible, the same Bible that you all have. It said that Jesus the Christ had feet of bronze. What color is bronze? Like brown. What color is bronze? It's brown, right? Now, the Bible is going to tell us it's going to be a little more descriptive of what Jesus the Christ's brown feet look like. Jesus the Christ was a black man, and we're proving it out of the Bible. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
It says his feet were like fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. What's the last thing you burned? You burn popcorn? What color does it turn? It's brown. If you burn it, what about rice? What color is it, sis? It's black. You burn rice, what color does it turn? You burn toast, what color does it turn, John? It's black, right? So it said, read it again.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So the Bible just said that Jesus Christ's feet were brown as if they burned in a furnace. So what color was Jesus the Christ? Sisters, what color was he? He was a black man. What color did the Bible just say Jesus was? So who is this? Who is this? You know. She knows. Where did you learn that, sis? Say that one more time. You watched the history TikTok. So the image that has been given to us, this man, his name was Caesar Borgia. He was the model for what you now know as Jesus the Christ. Now let me ask you this. Why would they change? What's the importance of changing the color of Jesus? Why would they do that? White supremacy. I'm so glad that our young people understand it. So, do you think it would affect our society if we knew that Jesus the Christ looked like us? That would help you have a more positive outlook of yourself, right? That helps with your self-esteem. So all you grown-ups walking around with the blonde hair, you straighten your hair because you want to look like your oppressor. You're turning yourself the opposite of what the Most High and his son Jesus the Christ look like? Now I don't know if you caught that, John. I just said that Jesus the Christ. What's the point, John? Come on, John.
You know, everything they tell you in the Bible, it makes it seem like it was happening elsewhere.
Uh-huh. Where was it happening, John?
Right on earth.
Absolutely.
In Africa.
In Africa, absolutely.
Egypt. They tell you about Egypt.
Absolutely.
Israel, all of those places.
Absolutely. Now, question. I don't know if you caught it, John, but I told you. We just proved that Jesus the Christ was a what? A black man. What color was the Most High God?
Bring it up.
That's where I'm going to mess y'all up. We're proving out of the Bible that not only Jesus Christ was a black man, but the Most High God, the creator of the entire universe, was also a black man.
That's right.
Let's read.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
And I beheld till the thrones were cast down. Read.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Now, who's the Ancient of Days? Sir, I got a question for you. What color is God? Without? He doesn't have color? What color was Jesus? Watch this. What color was Jesus? Middle Eastern. Why? Was he in Africa? Where is he? So, the people in Africa are Middle Eastern? The upper northern part. So look, who is this? Who is this?
This is some white depiction of Jesus.
This is some white depiction of Jesus. What color was Elvis?
Elvis?
Yeah.
He's definitely white.
He was definitely white. How would you feel if I showed your grandkids a black Elvis? You wouldn't like it, right? Because it's not historically true.
Right. Wouldn't really bother me much, man.
So it's okay if we go into schools and teach that all of the so-called white men, George Washington, Benjamin Banneker, it's okay if we teach your grandchildren that they were black men?
Give it a shot.
That's, you know why you say give it a shot? Because you know it won't happen.
That's right.
The problem is in our community, because you guys are currently in a seat of supremacy, you teach our kids anything you guys want to. This is what's been taught. I appreciate the fact that you said that this is just some white man. It's very wrong. So, I'm going to read it again. I want you to stick around. Because our people seem to listen more when you agree with us. Don't know why, but I'll use you to teach my people. Read Revelations. Go back one more time, and I want you to tell me what Jesus looked like. What kind of hair do Middle Eastern people have? What kind of texture?
Well, you're going to have to start with the fact that I don't give no credit to the Bible.
You get, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm asking you historically.
Yes.
Based on what you know, what texture hair do Middle Eastern people have? Would you say it's straight?
I have no clue.
You don't know what Middle Eastern people look like?
Not all of them, no.
But some of them, the ones you do know, what texture is their hair? We got to go around the bend, y'all.
I think it varies.
It varies. Okay, well, I want you to tell me who has this hair. Read. Watch this, y'all.
Revelation chapter 1 verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
It says white like wool. Is this woolly hair? That's woolly hair. That's woolly hair behind you, right? This is woolly hair on our face. Have you ever seen a Middle Eastern person with hair like this? Where? This is, look, we started off on a good note. We didn't lie to one another, right? You said, okay, so you've seen a Middle Eastern person with hair like this?
And white, yeah.
And white, okay. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Now, more than likely, majority of the times, let's say 9 out of 10, if you see a person with this color hair, this texture, what is their nationality? 9 times out of 10. Not the one time that you seen that Middle Eastern. The other 9 times out of the 10.
What is their nationality?
Yeah. Would they be considered black or African American? Have you seen white people with hair like this?
Very few.
Very few. Right? And most of the ones you do see with hair like this, they got some black in them, right? Would you agree with that? Very, 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 very possible. Yes, absolutely. Read. This is a description out of the Bible what Jesus the Christ looked like. Now I'm going to ask you another question after this because you don't credit the Bible. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? What color is brass?
Brass.
Brass. Is it a derivative of brown? Is that safe to say? Golden? A shiny golden brown, right? Okay. It's derivative, right? Now it's going to give us a further description. Read.
As if they burn in a furnace.
What's your name? Rod. Have you burned anything in the past? Rice? What color did it turn? Black. You burn popcorn, it turns what? Okay. So we already have the notion that if we burn something, it turns black. The Bible just said that Jesus the Christ had skin like brass, and it's going to be a little more descriptive. Hold on.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So what color feet does the Bible describe Jesus the Christ having? What kind of brass? Was it burnt? Everything else you burnt turned what color? So what color is Jesus the Christ? Man, y'all see how hard that is? Everything else that burns turns black. But when we talk about Jesus the Christ, I'm not sure. No agenda. I'm just teaching facts. Is 2 + 2 2? It is? No, 2 + 2 is 4. I'm just teaching the facts. Let me ask you this. Another question, historical. This is definitely somebody's literature. You're right. This is our literature.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word,